Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do something different with you guys, as you can probably tell from the title. If you've bothered to click on it, or if you're interested in this kind of stuff, then hi, how's it going? Today I'm going to be looking at some comic books on the iPad and like what I prefer to read and which device I prefer to read on. Just kind of stuff like that. I love reading comic books and manga. As you can see, my shelf here has got quite a lot of them on it. When I'm not collecting them, I do love to read them on the iPad. So today I've got 3 iPads for you today. They're all my iPads, I haven't been sent them. I actually have a bit of a problem, I think, to be honest. I've got 3 iPads. I don't need 3 iPads, but you know, here we are. Basically what I'm going to do is show you some examples of different layouts and comic apps you can use to read comics and mangas on your iPad. And yeah, I'm just going to show you like my preferred way of reading, and we'll compare it to how it is on book form to how it looks on the iPad form. And like I say, I've got an iPad mini here, came out last year I think, and I just love this is probably my preferred size for out and about travel daily things. So if I'm ever on the train, or if I'm ever visiting a friend, or if I'm ever just out in public, coffee shop, iPad mini is my go-to iPad for reading. I mean, pretty much go-to for taking out and about anyway. As you can see, I've got a bit of a Berserk going on here. I'm rereading it because it's just such an amazing series. But as you can see, it looks perfect for manga. It really is really good for manga. It's subtle, and yeah, nearly dropped it and broke it, you know. iPad mini, very subtle, and yeah, it just looks like you're reading a book, to be honest. And I do read books on here, but I also have a Kindle, which is my preferred way of reading an actual novel. You can read them on the iPad, but I think the display is just too... I've applied a matte screen protector, but it's still not an e-ink display, which is very similar to how a book is, really. So I'd rather read on the Kindle. I've got an iPad 11 here, an iPad Pro 11. This has got a matte screen protector on it. This I've had for a while now. This is the 2020 edition, and this was my go-to for graphic novels. As you can see, the screen size is really nice. It's an 11-inch size, and yeah, it's just still light and portable, but it's just nice. You can appreciate the art a bit more because it's just got a bigger screen, a bigger display. And my recent addition to the family of iPads I've managed to collect is the big boy. It's the new M1 12.9-inch with the mini LED display. So this one I've been pretty much just getting set up. I got it yesterday. As you can see, repping Nosferatu Zod on the screensaver. If you've read Berserk, then you'll know how much of a badass that guy is. But yeah, this one is an absolute unit of a device. I wouldn't really use this in public. I wouldn't take this to a coffee shop. I wouldn't take this on a train. I'd use it on a plane to watch films and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a big device. I mean, if you compare this to the mini, it's yeah, night and day difference in size. So the reason I'm showing this one is, and the reason why I bought it, is because if you compare an actual book, and I'll do this comparison as well, if you compare an actual book to this display, and I'm talking like bigger hardcover graphic novels, it more fits the size of this display. And yeah, it's a little petty thing, but I'd rather be reading it as close to the book as I possibly can get if I'm not literally reading the book itself. So that's where I think the iPad 12.9-inch shines. If you've not got, I've got a case on it, but it's a magnet one, so it can just unclip off. It's pretty heavy, but I find it really fine just for sitting, lounging about at home, and really enjoying a book. You know, really enjoying the artwork in the book. Don't get me wrong, I do love reading manga on here, but the details can be lost sometimes in the small details, and just some panels. The screen doesn't do it justice. It's obviously got an 8-inch display, which is great for portability, but like I say, you lose detail, and it's never going to be matched against something as big as this, where the detail is all there. It literally is bigger than most graphic novel in size, and yeah, it's got a beautiful display. It's got a mini LED display, so you've got that contrast ratio is ridiculous as well. So I know manga is literally black and white, so you're going to really see a good contrast in there, especially when you're reading really well drawn manga like Berserk, Vagabond, stuff like that. You're really going to have probably an eyegasm over some of the panels in these mangas reading it on a display like this. And if you come over here, we'll have a look at some comparisons, and I'll show you what I mean by why I prefer to read on a bigger display. whilst I'm at home. So yeah, let's go. So I haven't really thought of an amazing way to show this off, but I feel like if I use the ultra wide camera on my iPhone, we can get all the iPads in shot, and you know, I can do some comparisons. So to start with, I want to show you guys a comparison with one of my favorite graphic novels. I got the whole set down there, but yeah, this is The Walking Dead, as you can see here. This is The Walking Dead, as you can see here. I cannot hold this for that long. You know, it's a heavy book, and this is exactly why I'm reading them on an iPad. Don't get me wrong, this looks absolutely so cool on a shelf, but slugging this around and reading this in coffee shops, not ideal. So we've got Walking Dead, and primarily, I was reading The Walking Dead using my iPad 11-inch. I'll be moving it onto my iPad 12.9-inch soon. I just got to transfer all the files over. But as you can see, I actually do own the book. So there you go. I don't want people to think that I'm just pirating books, because I actually do have quite a big collection of my favourites there. So this is the app I use on my iPads. It's the same on all my iPads. This is my go-to graphic novel app on the device. So I'm not going to tell you where to source graphic novels from. You're going to have to figure that out yourself due to obvious reasons. But once you have the app actually set up, it's a really nice app. It's minimalist. You can change the color scheme. It's called Chunky. And yeah, just go into the App Store. It's only available on iPad and not on Android. It's literally just an iPad app. So it's called Chunky. And yeah, once you get your comics loaded in, as you can see, it's very nicely laid out. You can have them grouped, and yeah, it's really nice to look at. So if I just scroll down to The Walking Dead, I do have a lot of comics. So here we go, Walking Dead Compendium 1. So if we just click on this, as you can see, it is really laid out really nicely. This is exactly why I love to read on an iPad, because it's just easy. I can tap the screen to go forward, swipe to go back, and you can set up settings so you can tap to go backwards as well. But I've just got it so I can hold it and just tap and tap and tap, so it goes forward all the time. But yeah, another feature I love about this app over another app that you could use, there's a couple of good apps for comics and graphic novels, but I find this one my best because of this simple feature that none of them ever seem to include in theirs: crop margins. This feature is a game changer. As you can see, this is what it would look like on any other app. You've got a white border around the actual comic itself. If we just go here and literally click crop margins, turn that on, without you having to zoom in every time, it literally just resizes the page so that it cuts out all of the empty space and creates a bigger panel for you to look at. So I think that's an amazing feature. I haven't seen that on any other manga app, so that's why I predominantly use this one. But yeah, as you can see, The Walking Dead, it's an amazing graphic novel. It's a lot better than the show. So, and it is actually finished as well. So if you ever wondered what happens at the end of this version anyway, I know the TV show's gone on a massively different kind of tangent. But yeah, if you're worried about blue light as well, the iPad Pro has the ability to use True Tone. So True Tone will change the light of the screen to better match the environment you're in. You can also use Night Shift, which will completely yellow the device, so it gives you more of a yellow warm color. Or you can literally go into the settings and change the panel color to more of a yellow tone instead of it being so white, because I know some people prefer it to be a more warm tone. But yeah guys, as you can see, the contrast is a lot nicer on the iPad version as compared to the book version. All you have to do is just tap here. Classic Rick Grimes waking up in hospital, and there it is on the book version. So as you can see, the 11-inch display is a tiny bit smaller than the actual book version, the compendium version of the story, which is why I've decided to switch over to the 12.9-inch, which is quite a lot wider, as you can see here, but it's got a really weird aspect ratio. It's really wide for some reason. It could have done to have been a little taller, but I guess people like to use it in a landscape mode instead. And as you can see guys, that is the same panel, or the same page, on an iPad 12.9 inch. So as you can see, it's actually a bit bigger than this version, but I mean, bigger the better. Kind of, you get to see more detail in the individual panels. The only thing I haven't done with this one yet is put a matte screen protector on it, so you're going to get a bit of glare from, it's quite reflective, the glass, as compared to something with a matte screen protector on it. So this one does have a matte screen protector on it, but you can see the size difference. I mean, it still has glare, don't get me wrong, but it's just diffused a little bit because of the screen protector. But as you can see, yeah, I prefer when I've come home and I'm just chilling out, reading this one, having it propped up. It's not even that heavy, to be fair. It's obviously heavier than the 11 inch, but yeah, it's not as heavy as this absolute unit. So it makes up for it. You're going to get amazing contrast ratio with the infinite blacks of the mini LED when it turns itself off. And yeah, it's just a really nice display to look at and enjoy your comics on. So as far as graphic novels go, I'd 100% recommend the 12.9 inch, but if you're planning on taking it outside and maybe reading it around and about, 11 inch, maybe you're not even bothered. It still looks amazing, and it's obviously going to be lighter, so, and cheaper as well. Don't get me wrong, they're both expensive devices, but yeah, definitely a lot cheaper, this one. And you can get the 2018 version. There's a little difference between them. Obviously this one has the mini LED display, so yeah, it's really up to you on which one you want to pick. But as far as the actual comic looks, I think it looks phenomenal on the 12.9 inch. And yeah, let's have a look at some manga. So we're back with some Berserk. As you can see, I've got the deluxe edition here. Also comes in the smaller one, which is technically a similar size to the mini. It's not that far off, especially when you crop margin as well. Obviously it makes more use of the screen, but yeah, that's why I'm saying the mini is a perfect comparison to the smaller volume, the regular volume size. But when you're at home and you want to really enjoy the artwork, Berserk has some insane artwork. I whip out the 12 inch to read. As you can see, if we just go to the first page, probably not the first page, let me just skip along a bit because it's quite graphic. Yeah, first shot of the town here. Obviously Kento Mura's artwork gets insanely good. This is the first ever volume, so the artwork does get a lot better. It does look really cool there, but it does get a lot better. There you go, that's the same page compared. This is the deluxe version, so the biggest version you can experience in physical form of Berserk. Not every manga has a deluxe version, only the very best really get printed in deluxe versions, especially from like Dark Horse, who do the best job. I mean, this is like almost leather bound, like fake leather bound. It is really a nice book, which is why I'm trying to collect them. But as far as reading them goes, the 12.9 inch screen does an amazing job at making Berserk look as good as it can. The contrast ratio on some of the panels are absolutely phenomenal. If I just get rid of the glare here, you can really see that it's very similar in size. 12.9 inch takes it a little bit, it's just a tiny bit bigger, but yeah, it does look absolutely stunning. And that's that page for comparison, as you can see. Makes the book look a bit bigger, but it's just the angle that it's laid down at. But yeah, as far as reading big mangas go, with amazing artwork, definitely 12.9 inch is a really nice way to experience them. But there's a reason why I have a mini iPad, and I'll show you why. Just for reference sake, here's the same page on the mini iPad. Looks a bit yellow, but it's because I've just got a more of a yellow tinge to this one because I was reading it out and about later at night, so give my eyes a bit of a rest. Obviously you can do the same to the other panel, but this one does have a reflective screen protector on as well. But as you can see, still looks really good. That one looks, yeah, it's just a bigger screen. You get to see more detail, you get to appreciate the artwork a lot more, I find. But for manga such as like One Piece, I'm reading it on here. It's a really nice light device you can hold in one hand. It does the job really well, and it looks great as well, don't get me wrong. But compared to the unit, if you don't mind the size of it, the heftiness of it, it really does look really nice on the bigger display. So for the final comparison in today's video about
reading manga and comics on the iPad. I've got the iPad mini, and I also have the One Piece Volume 1, just to show you the difference and just to flex off the collection a little bit. I know One Piece Volume 1 has sold millions, so it's not really exactly rare, but you know, it's one of the better examples, as I'm currently trying to read One Piece at the minute, so there you go. As you can see though, that is the front cover. And if I just skip to the first ever page, it really does replicate the actual size of the page really nicely. There we go. So as you can see here, they're almost identical in size, and to be honest, I've gotten so used to reading manga on my iPad and graphic novels that I don't really like reading it on actual paper anymore, because I don't know, I just feel like some of the contrast of the screen helps me pick out smaller details in the drawings. So although you can never beat holding a physical book, something about the actual quality of the drawings, it just looks a lot nicer on the iPad mini. But yeah, as you can see, they're pretty comparable as far as the book goes. The only thing that will be different is the double page spreads, which sadly won't look as good on the tablet. As you can see there, obviously I'd do that and explore, but it's a lot smaller in size. But it depends what manga you're reading really. Does your manga have a lot of double page spreads? Berserk has quite a few double page spreads, but they do look really good on the 12.9 inch when you turn it to a side. It's a giant screen, so it's going to look amazing anyway. But yeah, that's give you an example of like a double page spread. But double page spread's always going to look good in the actual book form. But yeah, I don't think many mangas have a lot of double page panels anyway, so I won't worry about that too much. And there, just give you an example of Luffy's first ever panel. And yeah, as you can see guys, it's really nice just to have this device. You know, you've got all your manga built onto it as much as you want to put onto it in your own way. I mean, I'm not judging or condoning you from doing anything like that. If you own it, fair enough, put it on. If you don't own it, then yeah, do what you want. But really guys, that was the video. I just wanted to show you my preferred reading way of reading comics and graphic novels on the iPad. I know a lot of people do it, but I never see any videos of people showing off on how similar they are in size, especially the mangas. I wouldn't necessarily read a graphic novel on here. I feel like the mini is too small for that kind of thing. I really would like to read on a bigger display and appreciate a bit more. So if you're thinking this for a manga reading device, yeah, you're right. This is a perfect manga reading device. If you want something a little bigger, I'd go for the 11 inch. For the best of both worlds really, you're getting the portability and you're also getting the bigger screen size. Looks great. But if you want to get the most flexiest iPad and you really want to appreciate the artwork, and you're not too bothered about screen size being too large or the weight of the device itself, get yourself an iPad Pro 12.9 and you'll be blown away just at some of the artwork on here. I mean, this is volume 1 of Berserk, so I'm not really spoiling much, but as you can see, it's absolutely huge. You get to really get immersed in the storylines. Contrast ratios, the black and the white looks amazing. But yeah, it's really up to you guys and your budget, I guess, as well. I mean, obviously I don't just use these to read on, I do other things on them. I probably will end up selling my 11 inch, but I just thought I'd do a video before and just to show you the differences really. And yeah, if that was helpful or interests you, let me know in the comments. I know this isn't my usual content, so it might not actually interest you at all, which is fair enough. Thanks for watching anyway, and yeah, any questions, let me know in the comments. But yeah, speak to you soon guys, and happy reading.